Seek wisdom with an open heart in mind. For awareness guides intelligence, and intelligence is only limiting consciousness. See, your intelligence is the sum total of the experiences and environment you've experienced since amnesia, of course. Your consciousness remembers. The difference between consciousness and awareness is that your consciousness, or as described as the soul and more spiritual insights, could compare itself as being conscious within a subconscious. So to describe it simply, consciousness would be within awareness. And that awareness would be out of form, time and space. To make it simple, awareness is silence, consciousness is speed and movement, and your intelligence, well, that depends on what you've been, what you are, what you've gone through, and perhaps how you learned. But see, consciousness isn't bound by time or space. It spirals. It's like a liquid crystal type thing, if you might. And intelligence, well, it's rational, it's precise, it's pattern recognition, but mathematics have limits. When I understood that the speed of 0 Hertz was actually faster than the speed of light itself, I understood why meditating would be so improving. Not just beneficial for my mind, of course, I've got more patience along the way, but that's just a bonus. I understood that meditation was only the bridge between sleeping and the awakened survival states. So, to reach sleep, I would strongly suggest to start meditating, not just being cross-legged or high-staked on a mountain and stuff. I mean, really just being present. That's what meditating is. See, for my story, make it quick. I've been an exceptional athlete, and I wanted to reach the highest levels in the game, but I wanted to be a hero. That's the thing. It would never happen. I said I wanted to be a hero. My story is, when I was 16, I literally act as that hero to save my team, but it cost me my whole being. I got injured and couldn't walk for a year and a half. I started meditating 12 to 18 hours a day. So to come back to meditating, it's not about being cross-legged or not even about having your eyes closed, really. Honestly, if you understand that everything is a frequency pattern, that your brain waves will influence the sleep, the survival states, or the meditation you will be, then you'll understand what dreams are. They're simply the delta brainwaves frequency experienced by your consciousness. But in order to reach sleep, you must reach the 0 Hertz frequency, or as I call it, awareness. But to reach that state, It's not about cutting out the noise when I see silence. It's about realizing that self-realization may take like over 311 years. I don't know. You can times that by trillion actually. No matter. The point is, your form is here to evolve, and your consciousness is here to express itself through that intelligence, or that vessel, if you might. But in order to reach awareness, you don't necessarily have to dissolve your form. This body, this intelligence of yours, it's an evolution process. It's gonna grow, it's gonna be better. But that awareness itself, it just is. You don't have to be nothing, you don't have to do nothing. But perhaps that's the most difficult part, to surrender to evolution and speed. Because movement gives us rewards. Yeah. We can see infinite growth, actually. We can never stop. We can always desire more, be more, want more. But in the end, it's the lessons of that stuff, or the feeling, that will make you be, I guess, in consciousness as the most precise version of yourself, the highest timeline. The idea is that awareness is sleep, that state in which you're pure. You don't have to be nothing. You can surrender to simply be. That state, or God consciousness, if you might call it that way, is not nothing. Perhaps it is in everything, and in every atoms and stuff. My point is, awareness is sleep. So when you say you're insomniac, or you can't sleep, you just been divided from God, or from that awareness of pure self, that non-form, that beyond word presence, 0 hertz. To make it the most incredible human life in existence, to evolve and ascend, it's not about liberating the past wounds and stuff. That's part of it. It will help you sleep way easier, way faster. Think about it. If you have all that things in your mind, all that thoughts about the next day, what might come, what might arises, you're still in survival states. That brainwave frequency in beta or delta is really, really far from each other. Once you realize that in the middle, these states are what you call meditation, dreaming, and lucid dreaming, are just closer and closer to awareness. You say that dreams aren't real. They are, actually. Angels are real. It's just frequencies, like under 30 hertz, what your body isn't able to perceive. So if you're in intelligence alone and seek a mind to evolve, it's good. You're gonna evolve. You're gonna have what you want. But infinite growth and eternal liberation aren't worth the same thing. See, I describe it, awareness, as eternal liberation, and intelligence as infinite growth. If you are consciousness, you are the bridge between both. Now, the mistake would be to incarnate only one of the trees. In actuality, you want to be the Trinity. You want to embody 3 of them at the same time. You want to be intelligence. Let your awareness guide your consciousness. And when your intelligence is limited, your consciousness won't be. Or perhaps it will only be by your imagination and creativity. So, the only way to obtain eternal liberation, or sleep, if you want to call it that way, is to simply letting go. See, meditation is not just a fancy spiritual teaching. It's not a practice or a simple thing you do. It's the path or the way to clear your mind. See, I'm now able, if I want to, for hours, just seeing black, nothing, emptiness. It's beyond word, really. At first, I thought my consciousness had to create, to want more, to be more, to go from a realm to another, to grow in the angelic rank, you know. But the point is, you wanna embody that vessel, that intelligence of yours, as that consciousness you are, acting as it. And if you're still searching for speed, movement, or a purpose, even a destination, it's awareness. You don't have to seek outside of yourself. See, the best example I can give you, I was so lost, really. Like, everything outside of me worked because my intelligence was systemic. I could see patterns. I could go and act with speed. But it wasn't enough. My consciousness or my soul felt like I needed that destination. So no matter that growth, no matter that richness, no matter that whatever, like, I only needed nothing. And I only needed to be nothing. To realize that, it cost me everything. Really. I'm proud, I'm grateful. Infinitely grateful. At the time, it was so much suffering, so much sadness. I couldn't quite bear being alive for long enough. Imagine being that young, and knowing you have basically everything organized for yourself. It's good. Don't get me wrong, evolution is really, really purposeful. What I'm saying here is to go further than everything and embody that into that vessel, because at the end of the day, it's why you have that body, because awareness cannot be informed if it isn't in speed, frequency, and sound. But where does sound emerge? Silence. That be your awareness. Let be the sound of yours. Let be the speed of your action and decision. Be understood as your consciousness. And let your vessel, your actions, and love be spread and embodied through that material stuff. If you want to see it as a scientific, just let me put it that way. Just see elements. Understand that the element of air is 50,000 times heavier or more dense than the element of ether. Let that be dark matter, if you might, or silence again, 0 hertz, unexpressed fullness. This ether, well, it links every element. Now, your water would be your emotions. The fire would be the drive. Or if you want to call it your soul, your consciousness. It can have many shapes. It is formless, really. But to be in consciousness and realize yourself as it, you'll have to move. So to move, your imagination and creativity will imagine form. You will create those sounds. And if you want to go in the intelligent realm, you will embody those sounds and those frequencies for perhaps a certain amount of time within a certain space. That's what it means to be a creator. Now, to live as that amnesiac being and to obtain self-realization, it's a journey, really. I cannot just give you those words, make you sign a waiver and say, oh, you're good to go. Yeah. No, it's inner work, really. Meditation, it's just a bridge. You can use that. Really, it really helps. But if you got like too much responsibilities and stuff, just know this, you don't need time. Meditation, like I said, like for 12 or 18 hours a day, I'm not gonna say it's useless, but if you want to evolve as intelligent, you won't reach infinite growth that way. Only eternal liberation. Actually, what I want to teach the world is how to be able to reach that awareness within that consciousness you are as intelligence embodied walking on that earth. You know, there's another element. There's not only 5. The 6th one, the star. What the fuck is a star? Tell me. Does it only bring light in a single color? I doubt. So, why would you only have to be one identity? Why would you only have to limit yourself to be one thing? If you could be any frequency and choose to be, right now I know I want to be 0 Hertz, but perhaps you can be any number at any time, really. You can choose to be different. You can choose to die without shedding that vessel, that intelligence of yours. But your consciousness can die. That path, that is true alchemy, transformation, mastery. Until you will reach awareness, that's gonna be the process. Death after death. Until you learn every lesson you have to go through. The cycles. No matter how you'll receive that. Reincarnation is as consciousness. So you can evolve in consciousness as many times as you wish. Just as your intelligence can change forms, you can change jobs, identity, people, you can change environments. Your consciousness changes lives, changes realms after realms. But you don't really need to die in that vessel to access that. What I'm trying to say is you can reach evolution with intelligence. You can reach intelligence within consciousness. But in the end, no matter the amount of lives it would take you, no matter how many years it would have taken me as awareness,